Welcome back, everybody. This is DDP, and we are back to do another player highlight reaction analysis, whatever you want to call it. But this time, instead of going back into the vintage collection to see your 2002, 2003, 2001 Dirk, we are going to roll instead with another edition of the current crop of players. That is the worst title I've ever thought of on the fly. Rest assured, we will improve it as we go. But I wanted to spotlight someone that I think is really flying under the radar for this team. You can see it from the title. I am talking about new starting point guard Delon Wright, who the Mavericks acquired in a sign-and trade from the Grizzlies in exchange for 2 second-round picks. Now, in case you forgot, I've said it on the show before, when the Mavericks traded down in the draft from, I think it was 37 to 45, I want to say, they acquired 2 additional second-round picks. They took those picks and did a sign-and trade with Memphis to get their new starting point guard. Why? Because Delon Wright has sat behind Kyle Lowry. He has sat behind Mike Conley. And now that Ja Morant is in Memphis, he wasn't going to be the starter either. So it kind of made sense to give him a fresh start. That's why he was interested in Dallas and the sign-and trade. And it prevented signing him to an offer sheet at a reasonable price, tying up that money for 3 days, and then Memphis still looking at it and going like, yeah, well, we did like him all right. So, he got 2 triple-doubles for us late last year. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and match that. Instead of risking that, Dallas does the sign and trade. Smart. He walks in the door, and he is your day one starter. Again, I said 2 triple-doubles last year, both against the Mavericks in the span of about 3 days. We are going to focus on one of those first. This is the game in Dallas. This is Delon Wright. I was actually at this game. We're going to focus on that, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and analysis as we go. Let's get it!
Everybody, and welcome to the excitement of the NBA.
So this was Dirk's second to last home game here. Shout out, by the way, to Free Dawkins for the video that we're talking about here. 31-47. Both teams. That was a rough year last year, man. Excuse me while I sip on my drink here. So Delon Wright, here he is at the top of the key, number 2 from Memphis. Good Euro step immediately on Dirk. I mean, it's Dirk, I know, but still a good Euro step. Pick and roll, good drive. Gets all the way to the rim. That's one thing Delon Wright is very good at, is getting to the rim and finishing. Patient, one-legged fadeaway. There you go. So 7 points early on for Delon Wright. He had pretty much everything going for him here. Breakaway jam, nothing fancy, just get the points. His weakness is his three-point shooting. He's going to have to improve on that. It's not that he's like Rajon Rondo. There's a good find, by the way. It's not like he's Rajon Rondo levels of bad shooting. He's just not a shooter. I mean, he's not. He's not an outside shooter. He's great at finishing around the rim. He's a versatile defender. And Chandler Parsons for 3. I knew that was coming. I remembered seeing that play unfold at the game. Good passer, good finisher around the rim. Hey, there's a 3. There you go. Finisher, passer, versatile defender, long, athletic. You just got to get a little bit better on that three-point shooting. But the contract they got him for, something like there's a nice steal. Something like a 3-year, $24 million deal. That is so cheap for your starting point guard, especially one who, value-wise, rated out better than the new deals for like Patrick Beverley, for instance. I mean, of course, better than Kemba in terms of starting point guard quality. He's going to shoot a 3. Nope. Going to go against Dirk. Good pass. Sets up the jam. 4 assists for Delon Wright here. Dirk spot up 3. Misses it. Delon Wright. Nope, not the board. There's just enough lag for this to kind of annoy me. So I'm sure it's annoying you. Someone in the comments is letting me hear about it. That was a bailout. That was, I don't give him a lot of credit for that. Okay, out on the break. Delon Wright will wear number 55 for the Mavericks, by the way. Sets up the 3 in the corner. There you go. Memphis really just cleaned our clock in this game here. I remember it was never very close, unfortunately. They just kept pulling away and away and away and away. And Dallas got him back a couple of nights later when they went to Memphis. And Delon Wright had another triple-double, but that was the game Salah gets the buzzer beater put in to go into overtime, and then Dallas pulls away in overtime. But Salah had a fantastic game. There's that Euro step again into a reverse layup. Telling you, man, he's a quality. If a very ho-hum signing, he is a quality pickup for the Mavericks. And Mark Cuban has said that he was actually the second call they made. I'm assuming the first then is Porzingis, because they knew by then, by the start of free agency, that they were out on Kemba, and Kemba was going to Boston. But I assume Porzingis was number one, the first call, and then Delon Wright was the next. So the Mavericks insist once they knew they never called Patrick Beverley. Once they knew they were out of the running for Kemba, they were like, all right, let's go cheaper in this regard. Instead of maxing out a point guard, let's go cheaper. And we're going to go with Delon Wright, who we like a lot. We saw quite a bit. There's a good setup there. Wide open three, knocks it down. We saw a lot from him, obviously, late in the year when he got 2 straight triple-doubles against us. What I like about him is he's very in control and patient. He's not one of those guys that's just flying out of control. There's not a lot of explosiveness to it. He's kind of got a little bit of that Luka in that regard, where he looks patient and a lot of savvy. Like even there, pass tipped, didn't care, steps back on Mejri and knocks down a corner 3. Yeah, 102-92. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a very promising foundation I think the Mavericks have built. If they can get him improved in that three-point percentage a little bit, because he'll get the looks all day. With Luka and KP, he will get those looks. And if he can knock them down, this team is going to go pretty far, I think. Like, with regard to getting back to the playoffs. Like, they won 33 games last year. I think that they could win. Did he say Kaliba? There's the triple-double for Delon Wright with 37 seconds left. You saw his teammates react. 26, 10, and 13 for him, so he gets another one? All right, that or my headline is wrong, and he had 13 assists. We'll see. Maybe they reviewed something after the fact and went like, oh, no, this was actually an assist for him. Regardless, this was they won 33 games last year. I think adding Delon Wright, locking down Porzingis, and all of that, year 2 of Luka, I think they're going to get a lot of looks, and I think you're going to see this team with a lot of... No, I didn't mean to click Kobe. We're off in the wilderness. We have broken the flow of the video. Well, there we go. Perfect thumbnail to sit on. Let's just full screen that. There you go. Or it'll start the video. All right. These are very unscripted, unedited videos, as you can see, so we'll pause that, but we'll let it otherwise sit there. I don't need this stupid advertisement. You've already broken the fourth wall enough for me, video. So, I think the Mavericks can certainly look at getting 8 games better to be a 500 team. My optimism has me around 44 wins for them. That's 11 games better than last year. Still puts them outside the race for the playoffs. You won 48 games last year for the Clippers to get the 8th seed. I think there's a little more parity, so maybe that number is a little lower and more reasonable this year. But I don't think it's 44. That's like an Eastern Conference, well, frankly, 6th seed for the Eastern Conference. But, hell, maybe a 4 seed in some bad years. But the point is, I think that this is a team that can contend for the playoffs, and I think Delon Wright is a very underrated signing in that regard. I'm going to do some more videos here, checking out some of the other Mavericks that you guys maybe either forgot a little bit about or haven't seen a whole lot from yet. So stay tuned. I'm going to wrap up this one, but until next time, remember, every legend was once a prospect. I said it weird.